We are Steve and Jill.
Together, we've been buying and reselling land since the 90s.
Our data-centric approach leaves our buyers asking, how can you sell it so cheap?
Here on the Land Academy Show,
We answer that and more. I'm Stephen Jack Butala.
and I'm Jill DeWit, and this is the Land Academy Show.
This is episode number 2056, and today is Wednesday. We're talking about case study number 3 of 5. This woman is a former Global Pharmaceutical Brand Manager turned land investor extraordinaire. And she recently, let's say within the last couple, 2-3 years, retired her husband, which is a big thing for Jill's land ladies group.
That's part of our motto, Land Gals is retire your husband. All the guys love it.
I remember a few years ago when Jill brought that to me, she said, there's this thing, we're calling it retire your husband. And my first immediate thought was, yeah, your husband, you think your husband's disgruntled and angry because of his job, but that's only just one part of it. Oh. If your husband's angry and upset, ask him why. He'll tell you.
Oh gosh, no, put it in Airtable, and then maybe don't act on it,
or don't.
Yeah, do you really want to know?
That stone?
You know, sometimes I'm gonna say most of the time I really don't want to know.
I'm sure of that. Absolutely sure of that.
And I'm sure that the reverse is true too. Could you imagine?
Oh, no, I want to get to the bottom of everything.
It's not like you sit down to me and take my hands in yours and look lovingly into my eyes and go, Jill, what's bothering you today? And please don't leave out any details. Could you imagine if you did that? So I doubt you want me to come up and do that to you. What's really bothering you?
I think maybe once a week, maybe we should get together for 1 hour and just say all kinds of stuff. You know, not bad stuff to each other, but just, you know, my life's great. My life sucks.
Didn't we that was called a partners meeting.
Set a timer. I know. I remember that. And then we don't do that anymore.
No, I don't, because they're no fun.
Look, you know what? When you get to be a certain age, and kids are out of the house and you're not worrying about or thinking about money at all, which is where Jill and I are and have been for quite some time, what's there to be upset about?
There is that. Then you know what we get upset about is who picked the dinner place where we're going to dinner, and the fact that we have to talk about it at all. That's what we argue about.
I could care less about where we go to dinner. I don't want to talk about it.
I know.
That's right.
I'm aware of that.
But for some reason, this has been going on for years now. For some reason, she can't just come and say, this is where we're having dinner, and expect it to be ready by 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
Well, you know what? Because sometimes I get I don't want to go there. I'm like, oh, here we go.
Well, then we should have a protocol. Then I get to choose.
Yeah. We're kind of there.
Or I can just say, I don't care what it is. I'll go there with you. And then tomorrow I decide.
Something like that. And now we're talking about it. See my problem?
All week, we're doing case studies on individual people that have been with us for a while and are smashing it, buying and selling land. All of them, I think, with maybe one exception, have been guests on this podcast. Mm-hmm. So you dig back into the archives and you can figure out pretty easily who they are.
Yeah.
We have not asked them if we can use their name today, so we're not. Each day on the show, we answer a question from our Land Academy member Discord forum, and we take a deep dive into a land-related topic by your request.
Okay, Mike wrote, hey guys, this is a pricing question I have. What if you only get 1 or 2 results for a zip code while pricing? So when trolling, everything looked great. The red, yellow, green test passed, and so I decided to price out a whole county, but certain zip codes have 1, 2, or sometimes 0 data points. What would you give an accurate price per acre? Would that give you an accurate price per acre? There we go. Or would you just not mail that specific zip code because there's not enough data to price the mailer? This is on 12 months of solds, by the way. Sometimes I go to 24 months, but even still, there may not be very many results.
So here's what he did. He went through, did exactly what he's supposed to do. He profiled the type of property that he wants to buy and sell with his equity planner, and he went into Zillow, put that profile in, and then moved around the country and found out that wherever he's looking, it looked good. So he has to test the area with the red, green, yellow test to see if it actually is a good place to send mail. If people are actually buying and selling land there within his profile. And what he found is that the county looks great, but there's 10, 20, 30 zip codes in a county. And he's isolated. He did everything right. Isolated out the zip codes that look great and the ones that this is a red, green, yellow test. Green zip codes, yellow lips zip codes kind of look good, and then the red ones. And he's asking, I only have a couple of sold active properties in a few of these zip codes. What's that a real indication of?
Well,
no real supply and demand.
Yeah, there's not enough sold. So that's the part. It's because he's looking at, I have one sold at $400 an acre, and there's another sold at $1,100 an acre. What do I do? Split it in the middle? Is it really right?
You have a choice. And I'll tell you, it depends on the geography. If the 3 or 4 zip codes surrounding it, or the 1 or 2 zip codes look fantastic, but that one doesn't, I would go into the real world and find out why. It might be an Air Force base. Okay. It might be a Native American reservation. It might be a hospital. They get their own zip codes sometimes. Or it might be a terrible zip code to send mail. And so once you have the answer to that, you can include it or exclude it.
Yeah, then it comes down to how many properties there are. And sometimes, because you've said this before many, many times on our Thursday calls, hey, if it's just that one zip code and the rest of the mail looks great, leave it in, see what happens. Unless you know it's something that you don't want to mail, like an Air Force base, obviously. But the other stuff, let her rip, see what happens, because they're probably not getting offers because no one else can figure it out.
Very quickly, you can Google a zip code or very, very quickly and find out, there's a nuclear waste site there. Yeah. And it's been an ongoing issue. But one zip code over, everybody's having a party every Saturday. So it's pretty easy which one to decide there.
There's so many things you could say about that I'm not doing. Not appropriate.
Say one thing.
Well, like the one party over, what are they doing? Having fireworks and lighting them over at the other, like sending bottle rockets over to that part of town.
I'll give you an example.
The neighbor that sent bottle rockets over our head.
Our neighbors shoot bottle rockets at us. It's a different story.
Oh.
Here's a good working example of that, and then we'll move on to the case study. There's 3 adjacent counties in Southern California, Oño County, Riverside County, and then San Bernardino and Los Angeles. So we all know Los Angeles is the global entertainment capital of the planet. Everybody is, I can tell you from personal experience, having a party on Saturday night in Los Angeles. True. You go to Riverside, it's a little bit more community-based, really healthy real estate.
Colleges.
Really healthy real estate environment. Always has been. Real good alternative to the real high prices in Los Angeles. You move a little further northeast, you get San Bernardino, which has got mountains, and everyone's having a party there too in general, except way down in the desert. And you get to Oño County, which is a World War II nuclear bombing range. And so we don't send mail there. And no one does.
Yeah. I hope not. That could have been on someone's secret county list, and I know why.
A lot of counties in Nevada are like that too. I'm not saying it's a bad place to invest. I'm just saying not a lot of people. There's no real raw supply and demand. Yeah. It has nothing to do with my opinion. The data doesn't support it. No. That's what
numbers are too small.
Mike's talking about.
Yeah.
Today's topic, it's Wednesday. This is case study number 3. We're just going to talk about a former global pharmaceutical brand manager she's the stuff that she's done since she joined our group is just amazing. One of the things she's done is completely retire her husband, who runs the company for her now.
He works, I think she's still involved. I'm sure she's still involved. They both show up on the calls. So yeah, what's cool about this is, so she, found us. We were like a couple years in, maybe 2 years in or so to Land Academy, and we met her. We met her in a resort in town in the Scottsdale area. We had a little pop-up live thing, and she was in town for some other land-related event. And I was thinking a friend of hers said, "Come on, I'm going over to meet Jack and Jill." And she's like, "Well, who are Jack and Jill?" And then so started our years together, and that was so great. So smart cookie, the pharmaceutical, as you mentioned, is her background. Talk about brainy and STEM and professional, and again, not afraid of anything. I mean, talk about a career change. So she was looking for something else. She was looking for something more. Clearly, they have kids, and she's been with us and just professionally evolved, and her business has evolved at a very healthy, not crazy and not slow pace. I don't think she ever really struggled. I think she just dove in and paid very close attention, because that's who she is, and just put everything into practice and just kept moving forward and making changes and going with us and doing things. She's done House Academy and done houses, still doing them, and moving and just, like I said, always involved. And then, yeah, it worked out great a couple years ago. I was right. Actually, it was maybe like 3 years ago. She decided to do career path at the same time that she told her husband, they together decided it's okay for him to leave his job to join the family business and really work with her. And that's when they did career path. And that was her way of, let's throwing him in and getting him really immersed in it and really learning a lot really fast. And now, I don't know exactly how they divide up the roles. I know she's told me and I forgot, and again, you're right. I've had her with just her and I we've done a podcast together in the past.
She's been to all of our live events.
Yes.
We launched House Academy, and she faithfully got into the program, bought and sold a bunch of houses. And then I remember her saying a career path, that's just not for me. We made a lot of money on these houses. It's really, it's intensive. There's a lot of more stuff involved with the actual piece of real estate versus land. And so we've really toned that down. She slipped right into this land business and does amazing. Her website presence is great.
Oh my gosh. She's taken her YouTube to a new level. It's great. And it's consistent and professional and wonderful. She works hard. You know what it is? Another thing that we haven't talked about this whole week yet is dedication and hard work. Every single person has done like we have. You put your head down and you go to work, and you do that for a couple years, and guess what? You come up for air after a couple years and watch what you've done and what you've built, and then you could slowly start to back off if you want to, and make changes.
She also came to us, her LinkedIn profile is amazing. She came to us being very successful in another industry, doing other stuff, and was tired of it. I bet 80% of the people who are listening to this right now are tired, fit that profile. Oh yeah, I'm great at it. I do make a lot of money. I can't stand doing this anymore. My boss is a dingbat, or this industry is broken.
Or all my ideas get nowhere. I'm just frustrated. All those stories.
I'm bringing all this positive energy into a negative environment.
Yeah, and you're doing well. You're successful. You're not struggling. Everything's great. You're just burn out and don't want to continue doing that. Boy, do we understand. This is a good place for you. This has been a good place for them. I can't wait. And they have a kid. It'd be fun. I bet that there's going to be some time where the kid rolls into the family legacy business with them, and I can't wait to hear about it.
I wonder what it's like to be the child of overachievers like us.
Oh,
because I am not the child of overachievers.
No, neither am I.
I know you're
not. No.
You know what I remember about her, and I'll leave it at this, is every time, I haven't done it recently at all, but for whatever reason, we look up properties and we're doing deals and researching whether or not we should buy a property, going through the due diligence process, and I'll come up and find out that she owns property in the area or is buying and selling, and I look at it, and she has like 180 listings on the internet.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
How many properties they have for sale and buying and selling all the time.
It's amazing. She's done phenomenal. I'm so happy.
Join us tomorrow where we talk about case study number 4. These are first-generation European couple, and they're business owners that are generating legacy wealth flipping land. You are not alone in your real estate ambition.
We are Jack and Jill.
Information
and inspiration
to buy undervalued property.
We hope you found our content valuable, and we appreciate your support. If you have not already, please check out our channel and hit the subscribe button.
And your comments and suggestions help us to create the content you're here for. Hitting the like button helps to support our channel's algorithm and gauge your interest for future shows.